So in the spirit of that, in terms of blockchain leads to collaboration and different ways of thinking about an industry in a way that leads to the betterment of all. And that's one way you get people to collaborate, if there's an immediate reward and it's better for everyone, right? We all get that, right? And so I think this next participants I'm going to ask up are an incredible example of that. So let me just show you. You might know this, Alectra, 1 million Canadians just around Toronto are actually provided electricity by Alectra. It's the key utility. And then, of course, you all know Interac. And this is a fantastic example of collaboration and showing how Canada is a blockchain leader. And so this blockchain, which is now live with Interac and Alectra, essentially allows energy trading to occur, carbon credits to occur. And providers into Alectra can actually redeem where they provide energy and use Interac in order to fulfill their payment, the payment they receive for putting electricity into the grid, right? So the idea that we could get consumers or businesses to use electricity wisely for quick reward, and we could manage carbon credits, you know, is a complex concept, and this partnership is actually doing it. So I'm going to ask them to tell you about it. And if I could ask you to join me, Neetika Sathe, who comes from Alectra and who leads this project for Alectra, and Debbie Gamble, who leads for Interac. And they are both in charge of innovation, digital transformation, and generally getting their companies to make blockchain innovation work. So let's hear about how they put this together. So as I said, it's very creative to think about combining a payments company and a utility company. And you know, going back to our intersecting circle, goods, trade, and currency coming together. So can you start off, maybe I'll ask you, Neetika, to talk a little bit about how on earth did this partnership this very creative partnership come about?
Well, we do have to thank IBM for matchmaking. So, Bridget, our world is getting completely disrupted. The energy sector is actually at the tail end. All other sectors have been disrupted for the past, 2-3 decades. Banking has got disrupted, hotel industries got disrupted, you've got the taxi industries got disrupted, and that's no different for us. Now, our world is going through a generational change where customers are no longer passive energy consumers, they want to be prosumers. They would like to produce their own clean, green energy whenever they wish and consume it at their wish. Their energy, their choice. Customers are moving over from gasoline to driving clean mobility by way of electric cars. And that puts us into a situation where we need to reinvent our own business, our own equation of how we deal with the customers. We've been a little bit like an old married couple, where there's a lot of trust, unlike what you said, where the trust level is pretty low. Actually, between utility and customer, the trust level is pretty good, but the spark isn't quite there. It's like, honestly, every time you flip the switch, do you not take electricity for granted? And the utility, on the other hand, when we send you the bill, we expect you to pay. And you have nowhere else to go but your utility. So it is very much like a trusted relationship. That's all going to get disrupted. We just want to make sure that we can come up with the new energy solutions for our customer, with the choices that they need, with all the technological disruption that's coming. And we realize we really can't do it alone. You know, we know how to put the platform together, like a social energy network platform, but we don't know a thing about so the earning side is easy for us to create. Right. We don't know how to help the customers to seamlessly burn it. So that's when we felt a need for an innovative partner like Interac, so that we can bring a very seamless and simple solution to the customer.
Yeah. So Debbie, what's your take on that, and what steered you to blockchain?
So first of all, thank you for allowing us to be here to tell our story. We're pretty excited about this initiative. It's a big idea, not just for our respective organizations, but I think it has huge applicability to Canadians. And as you said in the opener, certainly the Canadians in the audience today will know Interac. You use our products, hopefully like most Canadians, use millions of times a day to buy your coffee or send money to your kids in university. But we work very hard to think about what the future has in store. And as Neetika said, you know, all of our industries are being disrupted. So how we actually came to this particular initiative was through our partners at IBM. And we were actually thinking, we were finishing up one project and thinking about the next stage. And we tasked ourselves to actually look at, you know, okay, how do we use blockchain in a way that can actually help us at Interac move beyond just the payment transaction into the future of something new or perhaps some adjacent marketplaces. So we tasked ourselves with our partners at IBM to start to think about that. They introduced us to Neetika's team. And together we came up with this notion of, is there a way to create value in the creation and management of energy efficiently? We looked at blockchain to do that because of its natural capabilities, obviously. As Mike said, the trust, the immutability, the ability for us to actually include many participants in the initiative. And where we kind of, we landed was the creation of an exchange. So this is really an exchange, and certainly from our perspective, what's unique is the real-time incentive capability. Yeah. So this is about incenting consumers and businesses, and in this particular case, to actually create and exchange energy. So for us, it's a bit of a leap for the future. Of course, we know how to do payments. We do that every day for many people in the audience. But this was about how can we leverage the capabilities and assets that we bring to Canadians every day in a new way. So we're super excited about the applicability of this, not just to, you know, the amazing kind of opportunities we have with Alectra and Neetika's team to think about a new offering to the marketplace, but how can this play out even for some other adjacent industries?
So, I mean, just to amplify that a little bit for both of you, I'll start with Neetika, but I'm going to go to you as well, Debbie, is then, so going through this journey about partnering, figuring out this very provocative, and I love the fact that it's both immediate gratification and good for the world, right? That's a perfect balance. So how has blockchain changed the way you think about working with partners, competitors, customers, and your ecosystem?
So the truth is that our underlying principles that we need to stick to are being trustworthy, trusting, reliable, affordable, innovative, transparent. And when we looked around for technological solutions that we could use to bring digitized energy solutions to our customer, blockchain seems to tick all those boxes. So it's almost like a marriage made in heaven. Too many analogies in marriage here. But really, it seemed to fit the need that we have in order to keep that customer engagement, to continue to be obsessed with customers and take them on the journey as the whole industry gets disrupted.
That's wonderful. What about you?
I think certainly from our perspective, it was not, you know, certainly those elements of blockchain trust, immutability, consensus building. For us, it was also how can we leverage the technology and how can we leverage the role that we have in the market today, connecting all Canadians to, we're connected to every financial institution, pretty much every retailer across the country. How can we leverage the role we have in the marketplace today to bring a brand new experience to those customers? So using some of those capabilities of blockchain have allowed us to think about a brand new way, a brand new service perhaps, for us to kind of support our customers in the marketplace. So it's not just for us about, of course, trust is a huge element. It's part of our DNA. We're in payments. It has to be. But this is also about us building a business for the future. And you mentioned social good. So certainly this initiative is there are many aspects of social good here, all around the energy consumption, energy creation, giving back to the community, having the community help create and be incentivized to share that energy. And we see massive applicability and huge opportunities in the future for that.
So when you think about what's next, when you say huge opportunities, and as you said, both with energy but others, just any broad outlines of what's next that you're thinking about that you'd share?
Sure. I should say, as you mentioned, this is live.
Yes. Yes.
Neetika has customers using this product, and I'll leave it to her to share with you a very cool transaction that happened yesterday. For us at Interac, I mentioned this is an exchange. So this is for us to create real-time incentives. But when you think about that in the broader sense, that's about helping people make behavioral changes. Yeah. And one area for us that we see has huge applicability here is certainly health and wellness. So we've got some ideas on how we can use a similar approach in other adjacent markets. We've still got work to do here and lots of learning for us to continue down this path, but we're pretty excited about the future.
Great. What about you, Neetika?
So, firstly, I'd like to share that this, as Debbie mentioned, this is happening right now with 5 real customers who are driving electric cars. So they're charging their cars at home. They have residential solar on their roofs, and they have a battery, lithium-ion battery in their garages. So they are running on Powerhouse, which is a residential solar storage with virtual power planting capabilities. Now, for the past 1 month, we've been running campaigns and programs, and customers have been able to earn by modifying their behavior and earning incentives in return. So we don't want them to charge their electric vehicle at 5 o'clock when everybody is going home and switching on the microwaves and stoves at the same time. We want them to push their electric vehicle charging to 12 o'clock at night when we have abundance of clean and green nuclear electrons. Or we send them a signal saying, oh, there's a lot of congestion right now. Can you just
unplug?
Send us electricity through your storage, through your lithium-ion battery. And when they change their behavior to meet the system needs, then we give them a real-time incentive, which is thanks to our partnership with Interac. So yesterday was the first time that we went into the burn phase. They've been earning for a month, and a customer went and bought 2 slices of pizza and an ice cream with the money, the incentive that they earned, and it was a big deal for us. All it tells us is it was a small step for that customer to go. It was a huge, huge step for us as we now embark into a new world. Where will this take us? We are waiting as our customers take on more of these fragmented, distributed solutions into their homes. We want to be ready with tried, tested, and trusted solutions.
Yeah. Well, Neetika and Debbie, really, in terms of the creativity of the partnership, the combination, as I said, of immediate gratification and good for the world, and importantly, your savviness on psychology. Kudos to you. Give them a big round of applause for this great work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Neetika. Great job. Great job.